Have you ever wondered why some people completely transform their lives, while others read countless books, attend seminars, watch YouTube videos, and take course after course, but never seem to change? If you are interested in personal development, spirituality, manifestation, healing, or learning new skills, yet you still aren't seeing the results you want, this video is for you. Today, I want to share one of the most valuable concepts I've ever learned about human growth and transformation. I first came across this concept in Kevin Trudeau's book, Your Wish is Your Command. I would like to give him credit because this idea has profoundly influenced the way I teach, the way I learn, and the way I observe people. It is called the Teachability Index. The formula is simple: willingness to learn times willingness to change. Each is rated on a scale from 0 to 10. At first, it seems almost too simple. But after years of teaching personal development, energy healing, and lymphatic drainage, and after working with hundreds of students, I've become convinced that this simple formula explains why some people experience extraordinary growth while others remain stuck. As a personal development, energy healing, and a lymphatic drainage educator, people often assume that when I am teaching, I am mainly evaluating technical skills. In reality, that's only half of what I am observing. The other half has nothing to do with technique. I am observing their character, their attitude, their teachability, how they communicate, whether they follow instructions, how they respond to feedback, whether they come prepared, their level of personal responsibility, their willingness to learn, and perhaps most importantly, their willingness to change. For example, before every workshop, I ask students to trim their nails so they can practice safely. Some resist. I ask them to read workshop emails and instructions before class. Some don't. I ask them to complete the required online course before attending the hands-on workshop. Some skip it. Now, this video isn't about nails, emails, or online courses. Those are simply examples. These may seem like small actions, but they reveal something much bigger. They reveal your character. They reveal your attitude. They reveal your habits. And finally, they reveal your teachability. Many people say they are willing to learn, but the real question is, are they willing to change? Let's say your willingness to learn is a 10. You buy books, you attend the seminars, you watch YouTube videos, you purchase online courses, you listen to podcasts, you are constantly consuming information. But your willingness to change is 0. You don't implement what you've learned, you don't change your habits, you don't follow instructions, you don't apply feedback. According to the Teachability Index, 10 times 0 equals 0. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you are unwilling to change your behavior, your results won't change either. On the other hand, if your willingness to learn is 10 and your willingness to change is also 10, 10 times 10 equals 100. The math is simple. Knowledge without implementation produces very little change. This is why I don't completely agree with the statement, knowledge is power. I believe knowledge is potential power. Knowledge only becomes power when it's applied consistently. Applied knowledge transforms lives. Information alone does not. This reminds me of an experience that has stayed with me for years. I once attended a sound healing class taught by a woman who appeared to be in her late 70s. She was an extraordinary teacher. You could immediately sense her wisdom, experience, and humility. During one of her classes, she spoke about the importance of remaining teachable. Then she looked towards the sky, opened her arms, and sincerely said, "Let me be teachable." I will never forget that moment. Here was someone who had been teaching for more than 50 years, someone with decades of knowledge, experience, and wisdom. Yet she still prayed, "Let me be teachable." That moment profoundly impacted me because she understood something many people forget. The greatest teachers never stop being students. The greatest masters never stop learning. The greatest leaders never stop growing. You become a better teacher by remaining teachable. That, to me, is the mindset of a true master. This is one of the reasons I never assume I've learned everything. In fact, I occasionally receive direct messages that saying something like, "I am already a certified lymphatic drainage therapist, so I am not interested in taking your workshop. Thank you." Whenever I read a message like that, I pause for a moment, not because they choose not to attend my workshop. That's completely their decision, and I respect it, but because I would never think that way. Even after years of practicing, teaching, and certifying people in a lymphatic drainage, I am still curious. I am still interested in learning how other educators teach. I am still fascinated by different perspectives, different methods, and different ways of thinking. Every teacher has something I can learn from. That's why being a teacher, that's what being teachable means. Over the years, I've noticed that some people stop learning because they believe they've arrived. They take one course, earn one certification, achieve one level of success, and suddenly they begin identifying as the expert instead of remaining as a student. But the most extraordinary teachers, mentors, and leaders I've ever met all have one thing in common. They never stop learning. They never stop asking questions. They never lose their curiosity. They never lose their humility. I strive to live that way myself. Even though I teach, I will always remaining a student. I continue to invest in my education. I continue to study. I continue to seek mentors. I continue to challenge my own thinking because the moment I believe I know everything is the moment I stop growing. So, I would like to leave you with two questions. How willing are you to learn? And more importantly, how willing are you to change? Perhaps every morning, instead of asking for more success, more money, more knowledge, or more opportunities. We could begin with a different prayer. Let me be teachable. Because your future isn't determined by what you know, it's determined by what you are willing to change. If this video gave you something to reflect on, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel and share it with someone who could benefit from it. My goal isn't just to teach techniques. It's to explore personal development, spirituality, healing, communication, consciousness, and the principles that help us become better human beings. If that's the kind of content you are looking for, I would love to have you join this community. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.